Executives from around the world are addressing problems arising from the global economic crisis with access to a business network. These executives are using the internet to communicate with each other to address their own unique business challenges. Executives Global Network EGN is a worldwide organization specializing in national and global information sharing between executives. This organization has now been launched in South Africa. MD of EGN South Africa, Martin Humphries, is here to give us an insight into the initiative. Martin, good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. What is the value in EGN if you're an executive?
The value is in the knowledge that you gain or glean from other executives from around the world, or perhaps from your local community, who have experienced challenges or perhaps opportunities, uncovered solutions that they have experienced in a particular matter, and they are able to relay that to you firsthand.
So how does it work then? How do you access that information if you're an executive?
You access that in two different ways, Vuyo. It's either there's a physical networking element and a digital networking element. First and foremost, the physical networking element is where we would form a group of approximately 20 executives of a similar function. In other words, we put CEOs with CEOs, CFOs with CFOs. If we form a group of 20 CEOs, they would meet on a regular basis, approximately 4 to 6 times per annum, and they have a dialogue about issues which are relevant to them in their business community.
Is that a facilitated meeting?
Absolutely. We have to structure it, and we put energy into that. If we don't do that, like any network, it collapses without some structure, without control, and without energy going into that. We also appoint chair people for each and every group, and the chairperson that we would seek to appoint their level is relative to the group, and they are in themselves a senior business executive.
Okay, so there's facilitation, then there's note-taking presumably, and people get reports about the flow of discussions and some of the issues that were raised and that kind of thing?
Yeah, very much. You're going to put in what you want to put in. Sometimes you'll be in a meeting where you're a net giver into the situation, but of course there'll be times when you are a net taker of value from that particular discussion. The value, it's difficult to quantify. The value could be from thousands to millions or hundreds of millions for big business decisions that are taking place, in particular on a global basis, because this is about global knowledge sharing. Our mission is about global knowledge sharing, and it's about providing this platform for executives to communicate with one another.
Is this a formula that has been successful in other parts of the world?
Absolutely. It was launched in Denmark in 1992. Built up over a number of years. They started globalizing this approximately 4 years ago.
And how many members in the network globally?
It's just over 3,000 executives representing 1,800 different companies.
Yeah, the conversations, I mean, is there sort of an archive where South African executives, presumably joining now, can go into some archive and draw on some of the discussions that have taken place?
No, not at all. It's a live database. It's real world. It's dealing with issues right here, right now.
Okay.
The relevancy right now, obviously, is with the global economic crisis. We have a definite increase in membership uptake around the world. I think we're launching it into South Africa at the appropriate time, bringing Africa into the international community as well. So we're dealing with these real-time issues, which, as you know, in today's market is changing on a, almost daily basis.
About the global economic crisis, what are the issues that are prominent? What are the discussions centering around?
That's definitely about finance, lack of finance, cash flow concerns, layoff concerns. There's talk about some of the layoffs that are taking place internationally. Is this really, really justified, or is it perhaps a bit of a negative, self-fulfilling prophecy? Maybe we're jumping a little bit too early into certain layoffs. There's rumblings of what's going to happen in South Africa in that respect. There's a lot of dialogue in the media right now about the impact on South Africa in terms of jobs, in terms of interest rates, etc. And I think that with having first-hand experience or communication with other global executives to learn how are they handling it. You know, we're all faced, we're not insulated in South Africa at all from this global crisis.
Do issues of cultural and political differences come into play?
They do, but they're not a barrier, they're an opportunity. That's exactly what we want. We want dialogue between different cultures, different backgrounds, different countries, and different businesses. If we put a group together, it is executives, CEOs from a broad range of industries. They're not
Yeah.
all in one particular industry sector at all.
Yeah. The criteria to be a member is what? You are a CEO or you are an executive in HR or finance or whatever?
Exactly. HR group, you would be an HR manager.
Okay.
CEO group, but that said, when we put a CEO group together, it has to be CEOs of similarly sized organizations with similar problems, similar agendas.
Yeah. And the meetings will take place countrywide in South Africa, or are there particular hubs where this is going to be happening?
Well, they're in hubs, but ultimately countrywide. So this year, launching now in South Africa, which we currently are, we hope to form 10 to 15 groups in Gauteng and follow very shortly thereafter with the Western Cape and KwaZulu-Natal. And then in the years to come into the rest of Southern Africa as well.
Okay. If you'd like to get more information, Martin Humphries, Executives Global Network, EGN, the telephone number 510-0242, 510-0242, or www.za.egnet.com, egnet.com. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
23.5 You're watching Morning Live on SABC 2. Bafana won last night against Chipolo Polo. Leanne has got the details.